Barron Trump, the youngest son of Donald Trump, has lived much of his life in the shadows, shielded from the public eye by his mother, Melania. Unlike his outspoken father and siblings, Barron remains a mystery, quiet, intelligent, and largely unnoticed. But as he grows older, the questions surrounding him deepen. What secrets does he hold? Could he, one day, reveal truths that could shake the world? While his father has been bold in his ambitions, Barron's silence leaves room for speculation, and the stakes are high. What will Barron reveal when the time comes? The world is waiting for answers. Barron Trump, the youngest son of former President Donald Trump, has long been a subject of curiosity and intrigue. Growing up in the White House, surrounded by unprecedented power and wealth, Barron has largely stayed out of the public eye, a contrast to his outspoken father and older siblings, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric. While the world has grown used to Donald Trump's bold statements and public appearances, Barron remains a mystery, reserved, intelligent, and distant from the media spotlight. His private life, fiercely protected by his mother, Melania, has led to even greater curiosity. As Barron grows older, many wonder if he will finally break his silence and reveal more about his family, his father, and the political world he has inherited. Barron Trump's life has never been typical. Unlike other presidential children, who often embrace the public spotlight, Barron has taken a different path. Raised in the corridors of power, he was shielded from the intense media scrutiny that has followed his father since his presidential run in 2015. While Donald's other children were already adults involved in the Trump Organization, Barron was just a 10-year-old boy when his father entered the White House. He was thrust into a world of power, politics, and public scrutiny, unlike anything most children could imagine. Growing up in such a high-profile family comes with both privilege and pressure. Barron's life, under the constant watch of the media, was anything but ordinary. He had everything most people could dream of: luxury, wealth, and security, but at the same time, he was denied the normal, private childhood experiences many children take for granted. His mother, Melania, did everything in her power to shield him from the chaos of public life, protecting him from unnecessary media attention and focusing on giving him as normal a childhood as possible under the circumstances. Unlike the Obama children, who had a more relatable upbringing, Barron's world was one of extreme security and extraordinary privilege. Melania, always protective of her son, ensured that Barron's education was a top priority, enrolling him first in a prestigious New York school and later in Maryland, where he could focus on his studies without the constant distractions of public life. She emphasized the importance of discipline, hard work, and maintaining a sense of normalcy in his life. Despite growing up in the White House, Barron had very limited interactions with his peers, which created a unique dynamic in his upbringing. Melania's role in Barron's life was clear. She was not only his protector but his primary emotional support. Donald Trump, known for his bold, larger-than-life personality, often had a distant relationship with Barron, largely due to his demanding schedule and high public profile. Donald had always been about ambition, success, and public image, whereas Melania took a more private and nurturing approach to parenting. This contrast between Donald's public nature and Melania's private demeanor played a significant role in shaping Barron's childhood. While Donald focused on his business empire and political ambitions, Melania worked tirelessly to shield Barron from the harsh realities of public life. She made it clear to him that while his father was a public figure, he did not have to embrace the spotlight in the same way. Unlike Ivanka, Donald Jr., and Eric, who were often in the media spotlight, Barron's life remained relatively out of view. But as he grew older, speculation mounted about what kind of man he would become, and how much of his father's public persona he would inherit. Barron Trump's relationship with his father remained somewhat of a mystery. The two rarely shared public moments together, and when they did, those moments were formal, almost staged. Donald, known for his brash, public personality, contrasted sharply with Barron's more reserved nature. Barron, growing up in such a high-profile family, likely admired his father's strength and ambition, but he also saw the toll it took on him. While Donald embraced the constant media attention, Barron learned to navigate the public's fascination with his family without being drawn into it himself. Melania and Donald Trump's parenting styles have often been at odds, particularly when it comes to how much of Barron's life should be exposed to the media. Donald's high-profile presence naturally attracted public attention, but Melania, always the more private parent, wanted to protect Barron from the chaos surrounding the presidency. She was determined to give him a semblance of a normal life, free from the constant scrutiny that came with being part of the Trump family. Donald, on the other hand, took pride in his children's accomplishments, often speaking about Barron's intelligence and potential. His parenting style was more formal, expecting great things from his son, but not necessarily engaging in the emotional nurturing that Melania provided. As Barron got older, he faced unique challenges that most children never experience. He had to grow up in the public eye, constantly under scrutiny, and yet, he remained relatively silent about his thoughts, ambitions, and private life. This silence only added to the mystery surrounding him. Would he follow in his father's footsteps and become an active figure in politics and business, or would he chart his own course, away from the glare of the public eye? Barron Trump, as the youngest of the Trump children, was often overshadowed by his older siblings, who were already well established in the business world and involved in their father's political career. But as he matured, the question became more pressing. What role would Barron play in his father's world? Would he take on the mantle of leadership, or would he carve out his own path, separate from the legacy of Donald Trump? In 2024, Barron's influence began to take shape in a surprising way. Melania revealed that Barron had helped Donald connect with younger voters during the election campaign, offering bold and insightful advice on how to reach the digital generation. Barron's deep understanding of modern digital trends and his ability to connect with younger people was invaluable to Trump's campaign. He advised his father to engage with popular streamers and podcasters, understanding that the younger generation was more likely to follow non-traditional media than the conventional political media outlets. Barron's involvement in the campaign was a significant departure from the past, where he had stayed largely behind the scenes. His influence, particularly in the digital realm, helped to broaden his father's appeal to younger voters, many of whom weren't following traditional political media. Trump's appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast, a major digital platform, was one such example of Barron's behind-the-scenes guidance. The podcast introduced Trump to millions of new listeners, many of whom were not otherwise following the election. Rogan later endorsed Trump, which further amplified his reach. Barron's growing involvement in the campaign highlighted his unique role in the Trump family. Though he had avoided the spotlight for much of his life, he was becoming an influential figure in his own right, offering valuable insight and advice in ways his siblings had not. He was no longer the quiet child growing up in the shadows of his father's public life. He was becoming a key player in shaping the future of the Trump family's political legacy. Melania and Donald Trump's parenting styles may have been different, but they both had a profound impact on Barron's development. His father's boldness and ambition, along with his mother's quiet resilience and protective nature, created a unique foundation for Barron. As the youngest Trump, he was born into a world of immense power and privilege. Yet he was also deeply aware of the challenges that came with such a life. His parents' contrasting personalities gave him a unique perspective on leadership, fame, and success. As Baron Trump grows older and steps further into the public eye, the world will continue to watch, wondering if he will follow in his father's footsteps or forge his own path. What is certain is that Baron's journey, shaped by his parents' contrasting influences, will be one of incredible interest. With his quiet strength, intelligence, and understanding of his generation, Baron Trump may soon become a figure whose impact extends far beyond the legacy of his father. His influence on the political and social landscape of the future is only just beginning.